Welcome to REI Pro Talk, where real estate investors turn for the latest news, tips, and tricks from the real in the trenches pros. Tune in to hear Chris Goff, the nation's premier real estate investing powerhouse. Join up with other top pros in the investing world as they cover every topic. No fluff, no filler, no holds barred. All you need to know from start to paycheck.
Thank you for taking my question. Being that there are only 3 ways to buy real estate, could you briefly cover how to construct multiple offers that could benefit the seller once I've established the ARV? More importantly, can you explain how the balloon options work and the exit strategy profit centers, please? Much appreciated. You guys rock.
That is a big question. So what I thought I would do is show you an REI Pro. Okay, so just for time's sake, I did already plug in numbers, but I wanted to show you what we're talking about when we, talk about multiple offers to a seller. How would that look? And then how do we get rid of it? What are some possible exit strategies? And I know there's another, question as far as how does the balloon work? So I'm going to switch screens here, Bo. So once I'm in the property, I want you to go down to step 4. So this is where the seller offers are going to happen. Now, obviously, you've already run comps on the property, you determine the ARV on the property, and so forth. So my first offer is going to be that cash offer. And I think this is generally the offer you want to lead forward with. No matter if it's a lease option or not, just kind of lead forward with the cash offer because most sellers generally want to be cashed out. So go through this formula. So I just went in, plugged in 25,000 in repairs. I know this particular area as far as the acquisition costs and so forth. Went down, did a wholesaler profit, did a retailer's profit. And I think the important thing is I went ahead and calculate that to our offer at 248. Now, keep in mind the ARV is 361 with 25,000 in repairs. Now that could just be carpet, updating, things of that nature. But when you make a cash offer, it's always going to be the lowest number. Let's go to the opposite end of that spectrum and go to our lease option offer. In this example, and again, you could change these numbers around, 325. So if the ARV is 361, I know it probably needs some updating. Obviously, this would be a home that's livable. It's not something that's disgusting or anything where you couldn't have somebody rent. I always start off with the monthly payment. So I did research, and this particular property rents for $2,450. Okay, so I made an offer $2,150. So that would give me some positive cash flow. Once I determine that monthly payment, that always tells me what the down payment would be. So as far as how I structure that is if the owner were to rent this property, just say that they would rent it, generally they would get a security deposit, which would be refundable and is generally equal to the monthly rent amount. So if I give them a little bit more than that and it's non-refundable, that already looks better than just renting the property out. Okay. Always shoot for, 36 or 24 month term. And always put in a $500 repair threshold. And what that means is to the seller, I'm going to take care of the maintenance cost and repairs up to $500 per occurrence. That way the seller's not always, I got to fix the toilet for the tenant again. I got to fix this. So we kind of maintain the property for all the little things that do go wrong. So that's my high end. And then we look at the seller finance. You're going to see that my sales price is just about in between my cash sales price and my lease option sales price. But because I'm going to own the property, I can put more money down, and most sellers would require more money down versus a lease option where the owner still owns it. They're just leasing it with the option to buy. I want to go a low interest rate. I'm going to amortize it over 30 years. And here's that balloon. We put 5 years in here. So what does that mean? I'm going to make monthly payments up to 5 years, and then whatever the balance owed at the end of that term, I would need to cash them out. Now, that would be typically a refinance. So I'd go to the bank, get a mortgage, cash them out. Could you go longer? Yes. Could you go shorter? Yes. Put in the property taxes and the insurance amount. And if you look over here at the offer, it's going to give me my total payment here of $1,723 to the owner. Okay. Below that is the schedule. Okay. And if you go all the way down to the 60th month, if you waited 5 years to cash them out, now keep in mind, you can cash them out at any point during this 5 years, next month or 5 years from now. As you can see, my balance owed would be $239. So I would need to go to a bank to get the $239 to cash them out. But when you give them multiple offers, they get so confused on which offer to take. They're going to generally take the best one that suits them. Let me go back to this because this is a good point. If we go back to the cash offer here, if you are a seller that is sick and tired, done with the house, give me my money, I'm done, they're going to take your cash offer. If you have a seller that can't accept that low cash offer and they really want as much as possible for the house, maybe they go with the lease option offer. If you have a seller that says, at the end of the term in 5 years, I want you to look at down here, total received would be $353,000 because they're making interest on it. Plus that $10,000 could be very enticing to the owner because they need cash. They would go with this offer. So the seller gets so confused on which offer to take, they fail to realize they don't have to take any of these offers, right? So that's where your acceptance ratio is going to go up of sellers saying yes to your offer just by giving them more than just one. Now, what do we do? So I've already plugged in these numbers and I'm not going to go through each one, but I want to show you a couple of different scenarios. Now, if I were to go wholesale this property, I would click on wholesale and my exit strategy would be wholesale. I just simply plugged in the numbers that I just offered the seller to my left. And here's what I'm going to sell for it. You can see your profit would be $9,000 and the retailer's profit, potential profit would be $43,000. Here is a purchase sell. Now, again, in this particular example, we're going to fill out all the same information that you did for the offer. In this case, I selected cash just to make the example simple. I'm going to sell the property at full price value, which we already ran the comps, $361, 2 months to sell. And then I've threw in some realtor cost, closing costs, and all that stuff there. You can see what your total profit would be if you bought the house, fixed it up, and resold it. Another example, I said, what happens if they take the lease option offer? So basically to the left, I plug in my numbers that they accepted. I'm going to sell this property for $365, which is a little bit more than what the value is today. Keep in mind, a lease option buyer isn't going to buy till the future. So I'm going to go up a little bit, not too much, but I'm going to go up a little bit on the price. But I want $10,000 down. Monthly payment, the rental rate is $2,450. And you could scroll down and actually see your different profit centers. So you'd make $7,000 the day you did it, $300 a month positive cash flow, total cash flow there, and then the back end difference. And of course, there'd be some closing costs in there, so it could be a little bit less than this, but it gives you an idea. Would this be a good exit strategy? And then I'm going to give you one more, and that's if they took the seller finance strategy, and let's say that you seller financed it back out. All I'm doing is plugging in what the seller agreed to from my offer standpoint on the left. And then again, I'm going to sell this property for a little bit more because I'm financing it for the new buyer. Being that it's a seller finance, I should be able to get more down payment. So I'm going to ask for $20,000 down. 6% interest, and you can play with the interest rate here. I'm going to amortize it over 30 years, but I'm only going to do it for the new buyer for 3 years. I have 5 years with the seller, 3 years with the new buyer. So if they can't buy, I still have 2 more years to extend it, get the property back, whatever I want to do with it. That's going to total up their cost. And if you go all the way down here, you could see your potential profit if you went this way. But keep in mind, guys, that if they took your offer and you wanted to buy it, you don't have to sell it. You could rent it. You could lease option it. You could sell or finance it. If they took your lease option offer, you could rent it. You could lease option it. You could sell it. If they took your seller finance offer, you could fix it up and sell it. You could rent it. You could lease option it or sell or finance it out again. So there's multiple ways that you can analyze these deals to find out what's best for you. And again, a lot of this would be determined based on the offer that's accepted. That was a kind of quick. I already had the numbers plugged in, but that's what this awesome calculator does for us as an investor, is to really analyze multiple different ways, because I'm offering the seller multiple options. So,
what a great answer. And that's why we do this for you guys. And thanks for showing up, because that was actually a really good learning lesson for people right there.
Thanks for listening to REI Pro Talk. If you've ever wanted to jump into the real estate game, get started with the #1 software for real estate investors on the planet, REI Pro. Start for free at www.myreipro.com.